Hi guys, happy Friday. Welcome to a special edition of the Design Exchange. I am here with my wonderful and beautiful intern. What are we going by these days? Victoria, Tori,
Yeah.
Vicky. I like calling her Vicky.
No.
No, Vicky?
No.
Why? You changed your name.
To Tori.
It says you, Tori.
Yeah.
Where'd you come up with that?
My head.
Just randomly?
Yes.
I think of Tori Spelling. I don't know. So Vicky's been with me. Tori's been with me since, you said 14 earlier today. I think it was more like
15.
You were 15. And her dad is my contractor. So if you're following the Design Exchange, you've seen an episode where me and Melinda talked about contractors and how we know our contractors so well. We know where they live. We know their family. And Victoria, I can't get Tori. I just can't say Tori. So Tori has been with me since she was 15. And how old are you now?
I'm 18.
She's 18. And she is going to a technical academy, a technical
High school.
Technical high school where she's specializing in art and design. But she's going to leave us because she wants to be an equestrian. So we'll get into that later. But what made you want to be in interior design? Because when you interned with me 3-4 years ago, you were all gung-ho. You were going to be in the design industry. You were really excited. She saw one of my drawings that I sketched out really quick and did a horrible job at, and she redid it for me. And she's quite talented at design. So what piqued your interest in that from a student's perspective?
I think just growing up, always wanting to redo things in our house and find ways to make our space look and feel a little more inviting and I guess not as, I don't know how to describe it, but
not as formal, more functional?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I wanted to make things more functional. I've always had like a knack for organization and cleanliness.
She keeps me organized.
Yeah, I try.
So what do they teach you at this design school? We're going to call it design school, but it's a technical school. And when I was in school, we didn't really have these programs that were art focused. I did take mechanical drafting in 7th grade, but your program's based more on...
It's based more on like physical artwork.
Physical artwork.
So yeah, so it's a 2-year program for juniors and seniors. And junior year, we do a lot of physical artwork. So watercolor, acrylic, drawing, charcoal.
Are you painting?
Oh yes, I love painting. And then year 2 is all the digital stuff. So we learn software systems like what is it called?
Adobe.
Illustrator, Photoshop, and InDesign.
What amazes me is what they don't teach you in design school. So what they don't teach in design school, for some strange reason, is AutoCAD, which was the main thing that everybody was learning. And our college interns aren't even learning that. They're learning that in like year 3 and year 4, but the design industry has changed so much and has become such a visual medium where we have to present with PowerPoint and renderings and 3D imagery. And you've learned a lot of that working with me. Mm-hmm. They're not teaching that in design school at all, or in your
I don't even
art school.
Mm-mm.
So the program you're in is supposed to be preparing you to go to college. And I guess if you use Illustrator or whatever, I guess you could do a floor plan in that, but I don't think that's the best way to do that.
No.
And you've told me a lot about your program and a lot about the people in the program. And I'm just kind of amazed at what they don't teach you.
Yeah.
What have you learned from me working here? Because she's on her 2nd internship. She tested the waters when she was in 9th grade to see if she liked the industry. And that was a whole summer, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What did you learn from me that you're using in school today?
I think I learned, honestly, just like the realistic kind of real side of what it is to be in an art industry in general. I feel like a lot of people like glamorize it and make it seem like it's some...
The glamorization of interior design, which we can credit this channel that's 4 letters that I like to call it the Sci-Fi Channel.
Yeah.
But it's that channel.
ABT.
So they're selling or promoting things that are not realistic. Like you can't renovate a house in 30 minutes.
Right.
And you've seen projects that we worked on 2 years ago that we're still working on today.
Mm-hmm.
So do they cover that at all with like how to network or what you should be doing once you're finished with the program? Like what's next? Like how are they promoting it? Are they sending you to go to a 2-year program, a 4-year degree program, an art college?
Yeah, I think a lot of my lab, it's called a lab. A lot of it is kind of, it gives the students freedoms to choose their path. So if they're interested in painting, then we can get you set up with these types of people. We can send you these colleges which specialize in classes that involve painting. So it's the same thing with interior design. So it doesn't necessarily specifically hit interior design, but if you have those interests, they have connections and colleges and things like that you can
There's
pursue.
a lot of designers that are fine artists and they've gone to fine art school, they've gone to painting classes. Do they teach anything about the financial stability of being an artist or a designer or any of the accounting aspect?
I think a little bit.
Like what?
I honestly can't even. I feel like I heard a few things, but it was never like, we're going to hit this because it's important. It was just kind of like pushed to the back burner.
So 95% of what we do in design, which you've experienced, is basically I'm on the phone all day long, tracking orders, placing orders, finding orders, correcting mistakes, putting out fires. Sometimes we're moving sofas.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're hanging light fixtures. We never know what we're doing day to day. And I'm guessing they don't cover any of that.
Mm-mm.
So if you were to look back on your career, because you're about to graduate, if you're going to look back on your education career, what would you say that you would like to have learned from an industry professional or your teacher that would better prepare you for the real world?
I don't know, because my lab teacher she was in like fashion design and stuff like that. So she has no idea about anything with interior design. So I feel like I couldn't talk to her about it, but I think something that I would have appreciated is if the school as a whole like made an effort to bring in more internship opportunities for the students that are interested in it and gotten even more connections, because the other labs like, auto collision or welding, there's hundreds of welders in Ohio.
Auto collision.
Yeah.
So did they teach you how to be an insurance adjuster?
No, like there are different labs. Art is my lab that I chose.
I know, I'm kidding. But I'm like, I don't know, I'm just so perplexed. And we're going to release this after you graduate so we don't cause any turmoil. But I'm going to speak at her school tomorrow, and I don't know after this podcast, but I'm actually going to be helping them format their curriculum for how to prepare students to come into the digital age and work with the tools that we're using today, versus just giving you Adobe, letting you download it and saying, go to town. Do they give you any kind of structured?
Yeah. Yeah, they do give
tell
us
me
structure.
about some kind of.
We have like different things that we study. Obviously, because I do my internship with you, I'm not there every day.
Yeah.
But when I was there all day, we would have assignments and learn how to make like packages and logos and websites, design websites. So there are things that are useful that we learn.
Graphic design.
Yeah, graphic design, learning how to use that to like promote things and kind of stuff like that.
So let's pretend like you're not going into the career that you're going to go into, because I'm very upset about this. So what would be your next step if you were going to come into the design industry after you graduated college, or not college, after you graduated high school? What would be step 2? Would you go to a college? Would you go to a 2-year program, a 4-year program, or would you just jump into the industry? Because you've been working with one of the best designers in the Midwest.
I have. I think I would honestly either take a 2-year program if I had to, but honestly, I would probably just jump right in and work, because I'm sure you would want me.
I would.
So I would work full time.
You're qualified.
And
she's going into equestrianism.
That's not a term.
She's going to go to teach horseback riding to underprivileged children in Colorado,
Montana,
Oming.
out west.
And she's a very talented horseback rider. Is that equestrian?
Horseman, wrangler. I do wrangling.
Kind of wrangling.
Trail riding.
Like Wrangler jeans?
I have a bunch. These are Wranglers.
I made that up. I didn't even know they still made those.
Yep.
These look like scrubs.
No, they're like Wrangler cargo.
Jeans?
No, Wrangler sells jeans and cargo pants.
Oh.
Yeah.
They look like scrubs.
They're not scrubs.
Is this your uniform for school?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep.
They make you wear a uniform?
Yeah.
Interesting. So, if somebody's watching this, we're mainly talking to clients and younger designers. What would be your advice for someone that's 16 or 17 years old that wants to become a designer or get into the design industry?
I would say you're going to kind of quickly find that there are a lot of days where you're like, this is not what I signed up for. But what you signed up for, what you have in your mind is a delusion.
Yes.
So I think just powering through those like hard days or the slow days is so rewarding, because then you get to the fun days where you get to go to clients' houses and see beautiful homes and walk around and take notes and listen to the conversations, and you kind of can start to visualize their dream, and that's what's fun, and that's what I look forward to.
You are really good at taking notes.
So thank you.
But I feel like when I'm with clients, I feel like I'm on stage and I'm pulling out of them, I'm interviewing them, they're interviewing me, and we're trying to come up with what their aesthetic is. And I think I do a pretty good job of that.
You do.
Do I?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love me, don't you?
Yeah, I
do. But there's so many aspects to design. There's interior design, graphic design, packaging design, industrial design. Industrial design is more about designing products. Did they cover any of that with you?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like how so?
See, I'm not the person to ask because I haven't been there in so long.
Really?
Yeah.
You forget that easily? I forgot she actually ran into a tree a few weeks ago, and
I'm concussed.
She's concussed. Somebody let her go skiing, Matthew, and she went 30 miles an hour into a tree.
Mm-hmm. I was unconscious for 20 minutes.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
And then they sled me down the mountain and then put me in an ambulance.
And then she went back skiing the next day.
Yeah, I did.
And then got back here and didn't know what her name was or how to log into the computer.
That bad. I did forget my computer password.
Was that your senior trip, I guess we would call it?
It was my college visit trip.
What college did you visit?
We didn't visit a college.
The Montana Christian Academy.
It was in Colorado.
Montana Christian Academy of Interior Design.
we used my college visit days to go to the trip.
We're really going to have to post this after you graduate.
We are.
So, tell everybody what it's like working at a busy design firm, because I am one of the busiest designers. I'm always on the road traveling. I sometimes wake up and don't know where I'm at. But what is it like working in a busy design firm? We're a boutique interior design firm. Did you know that?
I feel like I've heard you say
that. A luxury boutique interior design firm. And we have a special show for that called BDNY, Boutique Design New York. And that's, it's a microcosm, is that the right word? Non-microism. It's a segment of the interior design industry where it specializes in mostly just luxury. So what's it like being in a firm that has projects all over the country? Because you were with me when I was traveling to Nashville, Minneapolis, what other? Baltic, Ohio, Washington Courthouse. Design sure does take you places like Akron, Ohio.
Yep.
What's it like working in a busy design firm like that? From the from the outside looking in, inside looking out.
I'd say that's a good way to say
What's your perspective? What is a student's perspective on getting into this absolutely insane industry? Because you got to experience COVID with me. You got to experience inflation. You got to experience the shortages of materials, delays. What else did we go through? I feel like we've gone through pretty much everything.
Yeah. I think that it taught me a lot about how to just kind of stay flexible.
Pivoting.
Yes. And also picking up different things. Like you would come back and you would just like start talking about all these experiences. And I was like, oh my goodness. So I feel like kind of experiencing that has given me a lot of
insight.
Yeah, that's the right word. So
conclusion. We also make up new words in this office.
Yeah.
Daily.
Yes.
So sum up your first internship, because that was before you actually went into the program at your school now.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like? What was it like going through that? Because I didn't even get a summary from you after that. You were just like, bye, I'm leaving. And I'm like, oh, shit. But what was it like having the experience you had and then actually going to school for this and then coming back in to do another internship?
I think, so when I started my internship with you, I was still homeschooled.
Yes.
So I was homeschooled up until my sophomore year of high school. And so I think going from, my schooling was intense. It was like college grade schooling, but I was at home and I didn't have a job. So I went from being at home, living in my pajamas, to coming and working with you, which is in like kind of a mentally demanding, sometimes like going to clients' houses, driving all over the place. I think we were a lot more active that summer because I remember being out like barely in the office. We went everywhere. So I remember it was like 2021, I think.
Oh, shit.
It was like...
all the years have run together since...
It was like when COVID was starting to kind of go back down and things were slowly starting to
2021 was when it was normal? We don't use the N-word in this office. Normal. Nothing has been normal since 2019, and I don't even know if it was normal then. But we've just been growing and expanding. New things happening every day. We have a college intern and we have 2 high school interns right now. And I'm trying to think of how to verbalize this. You know our college intern, and he's like an anomaly because I don't know how it would take me weeks to render a project and he can pump out 4 in just a few hours.
Yeah.
And we all work in sync very well. Mm-hmm. And not a lot of design offices have that. And they don't offer the opportunity. Apparently, nobody has internships anymore.
Yeah.
Because it was hard for you guys to find
Yes,
this?
It was really hard.
Why?
Because there aren't many art businesses that are looking for internships or that need the help or that are big enough to actually like need extra employees. So I think it was hard for them to find. I think the only reason they found you is because I recommended you.
It was. And that was so funny. The guy came in here and had to verify that I was a real business. And I was like, I'm busy or running late that day. And I'm like, what does he want to see? Like,
yeah,
the craziness that we live in, which is, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. Describe a typical day in the life of an intern for Daniel Russo Home.
I'd say you get a little bit of everything. I'd say that I have moments where I'm like locked in and I know exactly what I'm doing and I'm knocking stuff out. And then I have minutes where I'm like, oh, I'm exhausted. And then I just kind of sit around, wait for you to tell me what to do. And then we have moments where we all talk and like plan things, or where I'm answering the phone, or where I'm, checking the voicemail, or when I'm listening to my music and I'm just like zoned in to the computer, scrolling through things.
Do you want to tell them about our the voicemail that we found today? And I picked up the phone and you go, don't answer it. And I go, why?
It was this person from Montana.
Uh-huh.
And he calls. I have gotten like 20 voicemails from him in one day.
We don't know what he says.
He's like speaking gibberish, and I have listened to them, and he's tried to call, and it just says Montana. I'm like, it's that guy. Don't answer. And you answered, and he was like, who is this? What's your name? Like 5 times. He asked you what your name was?
Yeah, so I made up a name, and then I told him that we were a sub shop, and we were making sandwiches, and if I could take his order.
Hopefully
And then he talked to somebody in the background and was trying to place an order. Yeah. But I don't know. We never know what to expect when we're coming in here. Mm-hmm. I never knew about these voicemails until today. Mm-hmm. I can't think of what else to ask you. Other than, did I ask this for the 4th time? What have you learned? Give me the top 5 things you've learned from Danny Russo. Am I a good mentor?
Yes. Yes, you are. I have learned, I am not put on the spot very often, so I'm trying to like, I've learned.
Come on, we're preparing you for equestrianism. You're going to be put on the spot with strangers, buckling them all up and into the saddles.
Well, that type of on the spot is what I'm used to.
Okay.
But
we're going to do a little change.
I think the top five things.
Fire them off. What are the top 5 things? When Danny Russo comes to mind, what are the top 5 things that go through your head? Good looking, great hair.
Well, there's 2.
I'm kidding.
I only have to do 3. I think I've learned kind of what it's really like, and
it's not easy.
It's not easy. I've learned how to have endurance. I think, like, how to push through the hard days and how to just like kind of go with the flow and just be able to do anything. Like, be able to keep myself busy on slow days and be able to keep myself sane on busy days.
Do we fluctuate with our workloads?
I think so.
I think we're very busy right now, but in the past, well, no, we've always been very busy.
Actually, yeah.
But I'm bad at giving you direction. We're always busy. But if I don't give you a task, I catch her on her phone, texting. She doesn't know I know this. And I'm like, okay, why are you here? What are you doing? Get on PowerPoint.
Yeah. It's hard, though, sometimes, because you run out of things to do, and then you're like, what else do I do?
The second time during a podcast we lost the light. What are you going to do? Anyway, closing. Give them some good advice from an 18-year-old. How about this? What would the 18-year-old Victoria say to the 28-year-old Victoria? Because I get asked this in interviews all the time. What would I'm not going to say my age, what would the current version of Danny Russo say to the younger version of Danny Russo? So I'm flipping this, and I've heard it asked before, but what would you say to the older version of yourself in 10 years?
About, like, design?
About design and your career path. What do you think you would say?
I would probably just say... There's a lot I would say.
Say it.
I would say...
Become an equestrian.
I think I would remind myself of my love for design.
Okay.
And to keep that in mind, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Always keep that in mind. What's your passion?
Horses.
See? My passion's design. So
but I think interior design is like my second. Like, I really do love it. When it comes down to it, I really do love it. I enjoy it a lot. And I think I have a natural eye for a lot of things.
You do. And you don't realize it. So hopefully you give up on horseback riding and come back into the design realm.
If I do, I know who to talk to.
Mm-hmm. But I'm not going to Montana, Oming, Idaho, wherever that place is.
Montana.
It's a state that's shaped like a square.
Northwest.
Northwest. Boy, you're going to be in a whole different time zone.
I'm going to be in a mountain time zone.
Mountain time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to give a shout out to anybody? Here's your moment.
Shout out to my lab teacher. I love you a lot. And shout out to my dad. Because I also love you a lot.
And her dad is our general contractor.
Yes.
And it's so funny because I have him trained to do things the Danny Russo way. So when he runs into an issue, I have him trained to look down on his arm and he'll have a bracelet that says WWDFRD. What would Danny Russo do? And he comes up with a creative solution that he typically wouldn't think of.
I don't know if that's true.
It is.
He is naturally artistic.
He is.
I think he's more naturally artistic than you think.
No, I know. He hides it.
Okay. He does. He kind of keeps it on the down low and pulls it out when he needs it.
He does.
Yeah.
But do you now understand the importance of having a good contractor? Because you're working, seeing us deal with contractors.
Yes.
You see what your dad deals with every day, and the importance of having a talented designer.
Yes. Makes the world of a difference.
Yes. Because
they work hand in hand. A designer and a contractor work hand in hand.
The details are in design.
Yes.
And if we don't know the contractor we're working with, a lot of times that contractor can go rogue on us and do things that we don't understand why they happen. And you end up with an interesting situation.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. And I think it's also cool that I've had both sides of the spectrum,
You're fine.
both sides of the coin, because I've worked with you, the interior design side of it, and then my dad, I've helped him with projects and stuff.
You've seen the planning phase, and you've seen the production phase and the execution.
Which I think has helped.
Yes. And I have literally a very good detailed process down pat that we're refining every day. It always needs work. We're always learning something new. But if somebody wanted to find you on the internet to follow your journey, how would they do that? Because you've deleted all of your social media. So you could follow Danielle Russo Home or Danny Russo, and we could post her journey.
I do have Instagram.
You do?
Yeah.
What's your Instagram handle?
I don't even know. Let me look.
This is the first time I'm talking to Generation Z, and they don't know their Instagram handle.
I've been told I am rare.
She is very rare. She didn't have a phone until she worked 16. For me.
I did not have a phone.
I had to beg for her. I had to beg her parents to get her a phone, a car.
Yeah, pretty much freedom.
But I think that's a good thing. No, I think it's really good that they kept you off the internet. And,
I agree.
Yeah, because it could be a toxic situation. So, anyway, follow Danny Russo. Follow the Design Exchange podcast. Follow
Tori _Corfitz 19. Tori with an I.
Tori spelling.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you for listening, you guys, and happy Friday. We'll talk to you soon.